Good afternoon. I am Brendan Flato, and this is the Voice of Duquesne Live. We all know Labor Day is a reason to have off from classes and a long weekend, but how did it all start? The very first Labor Day was celebrated in New York City on September 5th, 1882. It was used to celebrate and acknowledge the laboring class of America and labor activists of earlier years. Later, Labor Day was pushed to be recognized as a national holiday, and it eventually passed. Today, Labor Day isn't celebrated by marching through the streets. Well, not exactly. Many Americans celebrate laboring Americans by holding parades or parties. Many businesses close for the holiday, and schools do too. The Labor Day of today emphasizes freedom and strength among the working class of America. Pittsburgh knows how to party when it comes to Labor Day. On Friday, South Park hosted an Allegheny County summer concert series. On Sunday and Monday, there were laser shows at Carnegie Science Center. There were even events that lasted through the whole weekend, like the Acrisure Stadium kickoff, Rib Fest, and Pittsburgh Soul Food Festival downtown. Even though today's idea of Labor Day isn't the same as it was in 1882, it still and always will represent the same thing. That thing is the power of the people. The voices of the working class will not go unheard or underappreciated thanks to this nationally recognized holiday. The deadline to register for the first of Duquesne's 4 intramural sports sessions has been extended. This previous deadline of today is now September 11th, next Thursday. The Duquesne Intramural Sports Program offers an opportunity for interesting and rewarding competition in men's, women's, and co-ed divisions for its fall early play session. The program provides a variety of activities that the entire university community can participate in, regardless of preference or athletic ability. Leagues for the fall early play season include flag football, soccer, volleyball, pickleball, dodgeball, kickball, badminton, and wiffle ball. Students can sign up as a team or as a free agent. Matt Usella, a senior supply chain major, said his favorite part about intramural sports was definitely having fun with his friends. Usella also said it was a great way to relax after a long day of class or work. When referring to his favorite memory, he said it would be winning it all with his intramural soccer team in the finals. To sign up, scan the QR code on your screen or visit the Recreation Services page on the Duquesne website. Play will begin September 15th. This past Saturday, the Duquesne Dukes took on the Pittsburgh Panthers in the first official Battle of the Burg. Let's head over to Austin Hanson to learn more.
The Duquesne Dukes football program began their 2025 campaign against the University of Pittsburgh in the renewal of the city game. While the Dukes did not fare well in the matchup against the Panthers, falling 61-9, the meaning of the game was more than the final score.
When the renewal of the crosstown matchup against a much larger university in Pittsburgh was first announced in January of 2025, a palpable buzz grew around the campus. I spoke to freshman student Leo Martinez Valerio about his experience at the Battle of the Burg.
As a freshman, the Battle of the Burg was really fun because my first time going to the stadium, taking the train there, just a great experience all around. Met a bunch of new people. Just all around experience. We're strength in numbers. We're in that section up top, really small, but every time something good did happen, I could always hear the cheers. So
this matchup marked the first time the two Pittsburgh-based teams met on the football field in 86 years. While the prior matchup featured a big Duquesne upset over Pitt in 1939, this time around, the Dukes were just outmatched on the field by a much larger ACC football program. This showed precedent as the Dukes were outrushed by over 100-plus yards and managed just one touchdown. Although, from the announcement to the final whistle on Saturday, that did not stop Duquesne staff, students, alumni, and more from celebrating the university. In a much larger stadium than found on the Bluff, with over 53,000 in attendance, navy blue and red was sprinkled all over the North Shore in forms of tailgates and receptions celebrating Duquesne University. Sophomore nursing student Catherine Kelly told me it was experiencing this moment with other Duquesne students and friends that made for a good experience to begin her sophomore year. She added, "The difference in size from Rooney Field to Acrisure Stadium was a very big difference, and being in that environment was very exciting."
While the rivalry may not carry the same value to many Pittsburgh sports fanatics, the game carried the energy of a divided city, with both fans packing the stands, cheering on their teams, and celebrating a beginning to their 2025 campaigns. While Pitt claimed the victory, both teams leave with a memory that will last forever. Until next time, I'm Austin Hansen with the voice of Duquesne Live, signing off.
Thank you, Austin. We'll see this weekend what the Dukes really learned from the Panthers when they take on Lincoln University at noon. More in sports, the Duquesne women's soccer season is underway, and the Dukes are off to their best start in 10 years. With only one blemish on their resume, the team sits at 3-1 on the year. The Dukes opened up their 2025 campaign with 3 dominating wins over Kent State, St. Francis, and Mercyhurst before eventually falling to the number 23 ranked West Virginia Mountaineers. This season marks the first for Jessica Geiges here on the Bluff. The new head coach comes to the Dukes after spending the previous 10 years as the head coach at Division II Slippery Rock University. During her time at Slippery Rock, Coach Geiges had an overall record of 104, 48, and 24, and qualified for 9 conference tournaments, winning it all in 2019. Last season, the Dukes finished with a record of 9-7-1 behind a very strong junior class who accounted for 74 of the team's 93 points. With the Dukes returning 8 of their 11 starters and a strong class of 2026 becoming seniors, Dukes fans have a lot to be excited about this season. 3 of the most notable returners for the Dukes are senior forwards Brianna Moore, Maya Mateza, and Mackenzie Muir. Duquesne has also benefited from the strong goalie play of junior goalkeeper Allie Hughes, who recorded a first career shutout in just her second game back from injury versus St. Francis. As the non-league schedule reaches its halfway point, the Dukes will prepare to turn their attention to the Richmond Spiders and the rest of the Atlantic 10 as they look to win the conference for the first time since 2015. The Dukes will face off with Cleveland State tonight at 7 p.m. under the lights on Rooney Field. On May 12th, the university sent a campus-wide email detailing that the Fisher Skywalk would be closed until early August. This deadline, however, was not achieved, and because of this, students and professors must go out of their way to get to class. After elevator lines and waiting for the crosswalk, many find themselves late to classes because the roundabout way to class was simply that difficult to achieve in the 10-minute period. This past Tuesday, however, there was a sigh of relief for both students and staff as the Fisher Skywalk reopened, making everyone's journey to class in Fisher that much simpler. Student Alexis McVeigh noticed that both the walk to the building and the walk inside the building were much less crowded. The elevators were open and available for people who needed them, and overall the walk was much easier and more efficient. Sororities and fraternities are just one of the many organizations that make up campus life. Let's head over to Morgan Carr, who spoke with the Assistant Director of Greek Life, Carly R. Hill, to learn more about what these organizations have to offer.
With Carly Hill, Assistant Director of Greek Life, where she's going to talk all about what Greek Life has to offer at Duquesne. So, what are the Meet the Sorority and Meet the Fraternity events?
Sure. We use that in both semesters, both fall and spring, as kind of the kickoff for recruitment. It's a very generic open house, kind of, as you will, where all the fraternities and sororities on campus, they're 2 separate events, right? We separate them because there would be so many people in the ballroom if we did all of the groups. But we separate them, and it's kind of like an open house for everyone to be able to meet people from every single chapter, be able to get to talk to them. For the fall recruitment, it's a little bit more informal, so that would be able to where they would get more info of, hey, what are your events coming up if I want to, continue to meet with you or continue to get to know your chapter. It's how you can maybe get their Instagram. It sounds weird. Instagram's very like a very good way that they all communicate. So maybe that's like where they get that, where they maybe sign up to, receive more information. So it's a very relaxed kind of first step of, hey, here's our groups on campus. Here's who we have. Here's some faces to names, and then people can move forward if they decide to continue with maybe individual events for specific chapters.
Yeah, and for your Meet the Sororities event that you just had, you included the D9 sororities. What was kind of the intention behind that?
Yeah, sure. So here on campus for Duquesne specifically, we have what's called deferred recruitment, which means that first years, freshmen cannot join groups until spring semester because they have to have that 2.5 GPA and 12 earned credit hours. And so we thought that for the fall, it would be great for them to be able to meet all the different groups that we have on campus, right? But for the Divine Nine groups as well as our Panhellenic ones, they have different overseeing executive boards and different boards that oversee them, if that makes sense. And so since everything's a little bit more informal this semester, it's a great opportunity to be able to put them all together, right? Because when it comes for spring, our Panhellenic social sororities have a completely different process than maybe what the Divine Nine groups look like. And so they tend to get then maybe a little bit more separated because they have their due processes and different checks and different things. So the fall is a great opportunity to be able to put them all in a room because since it's casual, it's more informal. That's the great thing that's about the open houses, Meet the Greeks, is that there's no pressure. They're all kind of on the same slate that they could all just meet everyone for the beginning of the year. And then, again, they can move forward and then next semester, whoever they decide to maybe go for, they've already kind of met and broken the ice a little bit. So yeah, it was great to be able to have them connected this semester so that we could do all one big, like, hey, meet everyone. It's the beginning of the school year. We're excited to be back.
Yeah, and so can you just kind of walk us through what fall recruitment looks like for, I know specifically fraternities, but also fall recruitment for some sororities?
Sure. Like I said, fall recruitment is a little bit more casual, right? They're recruiting or looking to include more of the sophomore, juniors, seniors aspect because they can't join, they can't have the first years join yet. So like I said, it's a little bit more laid back. Our sororities, instead of, traditionally in the spring, they do this big week that's very structured and there's schedules and, we have certain meeting places and people wear certain things and it is a very rigorous schedule. In the fall for them, it's like almost the complete opposite. The National Panhellenic Council for the Social Sorority specifically dictate how many members each chapter can have. So some groups might be recruiting none because they met the quota. We have some groups that have 10 spots. So it kind of depends on where their numbers are at. But the great thing is that it's a lot more casual. They have more open, hey, we're having a pizza night if anyone wants to join and come. Like, hey, we're painting tote bags tonight if anyone wants, if anyone's interested, wants to talk and meet. So it's nice because it's a very opposite of what spring can be, and it's a little bit more laid back. Where they can get to know people. And the fraternities is kind of the same thing. They use, and their structure is relatively the same for the fall and the spring. Obviously, the only difference is the fall is only sophomores and above. But they use Meet the Fraternities as kind of their kickoff, and then they'll all do kind of different events on and off campus, whether it's wing night or like a game night or something like that. And a lot of them end with maybe more formal interviews of, hey, we're looking to extend you a bid. Let's talk to some more brothers. And then they do bid night. So fall's definitely fun because they get to maybe have a little bit more personality and structure, obviously, with our office, but a little bit less structure and a little bit more freedom to go. So it's fun to see them do that before the crazy and chaoticness of the very busy spring season.
Yeah, and so what do you encourage students who are interested in Greek life to do?
Oh my gosh. Well, fall right now is a perfect opportunity. We just had the expo, which our groups usually go out there and table. So that's a great way to kind of get them to meet the community and whatnot. We have a lot of first years, even for our Meet the Greeks and fraternities and sororities, that they still show up just to be able to connect and get a feel for it. Again, it sounds weird. I encourage them to follow different Instagram pages. That's the quickest way that we get information out because we my office will use email. The DU Activities page and Center for Student Involvement will use email. But Instagram is so instant. That I encourage them to go follow. My office has an Instagram that's Duquesne Greeks that we repost a lot of their stuff and their info. And all of our chapters have their own, so that's where they are posting a lot of their different events and stuff. So I definitely encourage people to go online, and if they have Instagram, if they want in the now stuff. Obviously, our groups use Campus Link and stuff, so their stuff is put into on the TVs in the union or in the different emails and stuff that go out. And I also encourage people just to show up. Sometimes it's intimidating, whether you're a first year or sophomore or junior or whatnot, to maybe be scared to go to you're entering into a group of, some of our sororities are 95 people. You're entering into a room of girls that know each other or maybe men that know each other. So it can be intimidating, but I just tell people to just go. Like they're like, what's the worst that could happen, right? Like you might meet someone and you become friends with them. So getting out of your comfort zone and just going and showing up to events to get to know people is also a big step. And also my office is the 315 in the student union. We're right by the steps and by the student involvement office. We get questions that range from Greek life to alumni. Like we get so many questions just because we're in a hot spot. But I love people coming in and asking questions. We have a Greek Life at Duke email that people can just, if they don't want to come in, but they still want to inquire about stuff. Our door usually literally is always open. Cindy usually props it open. So we love filtering questions and getting the information out to people.
Great. And so one last thing, why do you think that Greek life is needed to have on Duquesne's campus?
Oh my gosh. I mean, obviously I'm such an advocate for it, right? 'Cause if I wasn't, I wouldn't be involved. I personally had such a great experience with Greek life at my own campus. I went to a smaller private school, kind of around Duquesne size. And I went 15 out, I'm from Pittsburgh. I went to Florida 15 hours away. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. So like it was the first time that I was like in something quiet with no one bothering me, like no one around. And so that the Greek community is what kept me there. And I mean, I ended up thriving and, living in a different state for multiple years. So I think just the community that they provide, I think is just exceptional and really, really unique. But they also have other standards, right? Like our Greeks on campus continuously year after year are some of the top scholars. We get those reports back. That's something I brag about it too. We compare them to the student body and the undergraduate community, and they are constantly up there with them. So it proves that, right, like it's very beneficial. They care about their grades. They're consistently helping out around the Duquesne community and also just the community of Pittsburgh in general. I've had groups that go to a local church and make pierogies with the women that work there. I have a lot of students that live on the south side that will go over and clean up the communities. They're on different committees on the south side. So it's so beneficial because they are seen not only helping Duquesne's campus, but also the community that they may actually live in within the city. And lastly, these groups usually have some sort of core effort that they're all like going towards and working towards. A lot of them have philanthropies that they spend the year raising money, doing events for, which I think is absolutely great to see them doing something bigger than themselves, right? You see them maybe raising money on campus to send to their philanthropies. We have a couple of them that do massive like balls and different events and charity events that alumni and people on campus will go to help raise that money. I have groups that raise close to like $20,000 in a year, which I think for college, like college students age 18 to 22, I think that's amazing. Like that's a huge number. So it's great to be able to see them, not only get good grades, not only help the community, but also put the effort in for philanthropic work. So the value that they get just being a part of these communities really transfers over into work ethic and leadership and everything into the years coming when they eventually transition to adult life and within the community outside of Duquesne. So like I said, I'm an advocate because I see the benefits and the students are great and they really help out. So I think it's so valuable to Duquesne here.
Thank you. And thank you for spending time to talk with us about this.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Yeah. And stay tuned for more Greek life updates throughout the semester.
Community about their experiences with the students. Co-founder Hannah Like form a community that could support each other and help everyone in the club get the best out of their college experience. The club meets on Fridays at 8 p.m. in the Africa room of the Student Union and does fun, engaging activities such as arts and crafts and board games. On Monday, the orientation chairs hosted an event where students could create their own vision board, a collage of images that fit their visions for the future. According to Chair Mary Pattenoser, the event was a fun activity that could help incoming students make a vision of what they wanted their first semester to look like. While Paternoster admitted she was unsure how many people would show up, the event had a great turnout with tables filled with people, most of whom had never done vision boards before. Many students' boards share common themes of making connections and getting good grades as goals that they wanted to set for the semester. And both the chairs and the guests were very pleased with how the event went. Now here's this week's roundup from Provost Dowsey's Academic Insights. Consulting sessions at the University Writing Center will begin on September 8th and continue until the last day of classes on December 10th. Both face-to-face and online appointments are available. Face-to-face locations are 216 College Hall and Student Service Central in the Student Union. The 16th Annual McGinley Rice Symposium, The Face of the Person Who Has Been Abused, taking place in just 51 days. This event brings together nurses, researchers, advocates, and community members to shed light on realities of abuse and share pathways to healing, dignity, and justice. Hear from keynote speakers and national thought leaders, engage with innovative research and community initiatives, network with professionals committed to advocacy, healing, and earn continuing educational credits. Don't miss your opportunity to be a part of this vital conversation. Secure your spot today. Gumberg Library's EBSCO database recently underwent substantial changes. To help you navigate the updates, the library will host a webinar on September 9th from noon till 1 p.m., walking you through existing features and introducing new ones like natural language searching, enhanced subject searching, and filters for specialized content. I am Brendan Flato, and this is the Voice of Duquesne Live. Hope to see you again next Thursday.